Hello and welcome to the Here For It podcast with Chris
and Melis.
We're two sisters that are here to bring you real and relatable topics that we hope will inspire you,
cause you to think, laugh, and grow.
If you hear something you like, please remember to like, subscribe, and share.
And now, let's get into today's topic.
Whenever you're ready. Welcome to the Here For It podcast with
Chris
and Melis, and we are back this week.
Hey, y'all.
And we're going to be talking about parenting.
Yes. The P word, the big P word.
The big P word. I'm a parent.
Yes.
Chris is a parent.
Yes. Either you're a parent or you have a parent, maybe, right? Or you want to be a parent. So this topic is definitely going to be applicable to everybody. So don't try to go nowhere. Okay?
Yeah. And like we said before, parenting is a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people view parenting as you report to someone, or I'm over you, or
I brought you in this world, I'll take you out.
I'll take you out, and there's no relationship.
You are my
but it
possession.
Is a true relationship.
It is.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I agree with that. Before we get into the topic, how was your week? What you got going on? What you been thinking about doing? What's up with you?
Right.
Nothing.
No, my week has been really, really crazy. I've had my grandbaby and Lilia, Zion and Lil, for like the whole week this week at home while I'm working, like the last week before school. And my house is chaotic right now.
Sometimes you can't clean it. You just gotta let it do what it do.
There's dishes in the sink. There's cookies. There's ice cream, toys, skates, hula hoops, bikes.
They been having a good time.
And I be doing my phone screens, and I don't even hide them. So all of my phone screens and my video calls, my kids, they just be going past the screen. I be like,
life.
Yes, like I said.
Okay. You need a job or no?
Do you want the candidate or not?
Yeah.
So it's been crazy.
My week been crazy too.
Yeah. I ain't even talked to you all week.
That's because I've been stranded. I got back from vacation. My car broke down on me.
Wait a minute. You have a Range Rover. You don't get stranded.
That part.
Now, stranded is a word from the 70s. I just want to
Girl, we stranded.
Girl, they were stranded all day. Because back then when you were stranded, you didn't have a cell phone to call nobody. You didn't have a pager.
You needed a quarter to get to the
payphone. And you would just be stranded all day until somebody came and got you.
I was straight stranded.
You was stranded. Well, what happened?
It's just ghetto. I'm about to get me a new car. I am speaking into existence a new vehicle for me.
New vehicle.
Because so my car was stolen in November.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right before Thanksgiving last year, and they recovered it. I was so happy. Thank God I got my car back. My Range Rover is a supercharged, so it drives very fast. It ain't your average.
It's not your average.
It's not.
You know she Doc Strange in the range, right?
Listen, I like to drive fast. So my husband has one too, but it's a different model and it doesn't go as fast. So anyways, I wanted my car back after they had stolen it because it drives fast. So I got it back.
That's why.
Praise the Lord. But they got into a fender bender with my car, and they tried to pull out the what do you call it? The tracker. So ever since then, my car has been doing this crazy beep, 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 beep sound. So we went out of town last week, took it to the dealership. Long story short, I got my car from the dealership on Monday morning. And by Monday at 7 p.m., I was stranded at the gas station. I don't know what these people did to my car.
Mind you, she don't call nobody. She just be like, I'm stranded.
I did. So it's been a crazy week. I'm still literally waiting for a tow truck to come and get my vehicle, to take it to the dealership, to try to figure out what's wrong. I think my battery is completely dead.
Yeah, that's so a lot of money.
Everything is.
I just have a Jeep, and I have two batteries in the car.
Why they did that?
I don't know. One of them is for driving, and then one of them is just for GP.
So GP.
That other battery on GP.
Put another one in there.
You know what? It's 2022. Put another battery in there.
They said we gonna kill him with this second battery.
Girl, I got two batteries. like, that's why your mama got 2 batteries in her car. Look at your mama. I bet you ain't even got she ain't even got 2 batteries in her Range Rover. She paying all that money.
That's the problem I need too. Because if I had to, I wouldn't have been stranded.
You wouldn't have been stranded.
So my week has been crazy.
Yeah.
But also I cannot believe that it's Thursday. Like, how we go from Monday to Thursday? Because Monday was yesterday. So
it was,
I don't know how. I mean, I know we airing this on Tuesday, but technically it's Thursday. But I swear that Monday was yesterday.
Yeah, the weeks go by fast.
But I saw a post. Did you see that post?
No.
On the Shade Room, like CNN or some scientists or whatever, they said the Earth is spinning faster. Literally. So the days are, you know how you feel like, okay, these days are going by. The Earth is literally spinning fast.
I bet it is.
Jesus is like.
And that's why monkey paw. What is it? Monkey pox. Monkey paw. Monkey pox is here. It's spinning too fast and it's creating like a monkey mix. No kidding. No, sorry. I know it's serious.
It is serious. Sorry.
Y'all know we silly.
But it's a monkey mix. No, can I tell you something? It's a mixture of monkey. No, can I tell y'all about monkeypox real quick? God, listen, I wasn't as afraid of COVID as I should have been. Monkeypox got me shook. Monkeypox got me shook. Like, I had a dream last night of somebody that had monkeypox, and I woke up. I said, Jalen, stop hanging out with so-and-so, because she got monkeypox. Oh, gosh. Because I dreamt about it, Melissa. It has been really scaring me. It's making me so nervous. So I'm praying, and y'all pray too, that God will protect us and that God will give speedy recovery to those who have contracted it. And again, I don't know how to not get it. Like, because I was asking the other day,
no way.
Do you wear your mask? So I'm just praying. The Bible says in the last days there's going to be pestilences, and that includes all the diseases and stuff that are coming. And
but he did say that he will protect us from all of those things.
Absolutely.
His children, his people. And I'm not saying that
if you got it, you're not protected.
That you're not protected, but that is his promise to his people. And you know what? What's for you?
Yeah, nothing happens unless God allows it. Even if, God forbid, you get that, He may want you to go through that storm so you can learn something, be better, whatever. Yeah. So hang in there. If you have it, if you don't have it, I'm just praying protection over all of us. We were not really making fun of it. We are just silly, y'all.
Yeah. So please don't take it. Please.
We love y'all. We sorry. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah. So
hopefully it'll be a better week. And
our weeks need to get better.
Yeah, it will.
It's almost crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's so funny. Before we started, we just did a little chit chat about our topic or whatever, and I was like, okay, Melissa, parenting is broad. So I was like, okay, girl, what we gonna talk about? How we're gonna hone in on our stories or whatever. And what did you say? It was tea-worthy? What did you say?
Girl, it has to be tea content. Something about tea-driven.
Tea-driven content.
Your content has to be tea-driven.
It has to
or
be
it's not going to make it.
Or the people will go away.
Yes. So we had to learn that quickly. So we're going to share a little tea.
TDC today. Yes. We're going to give you some tea-driven content. We want to tell y'all about our personal parenting stories and experiences, and then just talk about parenting a little bit in general. We're going to tell you guys our stories, because if you remember some episodes back, we both were teen pregnancies.
Yeah, we both did.
So you want to go first, or what you?
Well, since I was the first one.
Right. What is your story? How old were you? Tell us about it.
I was pregnant at the age of 18. I think my last year of high school. The last 2 years of high school, I went to public school. Okay. So
private school all the way until the last 2 years?
Well, kinda. I was always in and out, but I'm a private school girl. I'm a church school girl. Yeah.
I agree.
I went to a church school pretty much all my life.
Yeah.
High school, in and out of, depending on when we could afford the tuition or not.
If you don't got the tuition, you be like,
hey, I go to this school.
You just go to the local school.
You go to the local. You go to the local school.
And you work on getting sponsors in the meantime. Y'all remember sponsors?
No, you work on getting sponsors, or you work on paying your bill, catching up on your bill, and then you can re-enroll. And then when you come back to school, they be like, Melissa back.
Hey, you piece together your uniform and you like, I'm back.
You get you a little uniform.
I know. The struggle of a single parent mom.
Yeah. Mommy did an excellent job, though.
Yes, she did.
Keeping me in an environment, and as a result of being in church school or Christian school, I grew up with those Christian principles. So I wasn't a girl that had sex at a young age or was promiscuous or never been violated or anything like that. It just came down to making a mistake. You know what I mean? Just making a mistake and living with that mistake and moving forward. So before I tell my story, I just want to say that I love every one of my kids.
Listen,
from the oldest to the youngest, and they know it.
You have some amazing kids. So
they are amazing.
Everybody's kids. Well, okay, everybody's kids is amazing, but you have some amazing kids.
Thank you very much.
You do. I
love them. But they are some amazing kids, and they know how much I love them. So anything that I say today, I can share with them, or I have shared with them. So, I just want everybody to know that we're good. We're good.
It's
but
all good.
This is my story, because it could be somebody else's
Absolutely.
too. So,
absolutely.
So I did a little stint in public school, and I was really sad about leaving Christian school or having to go to public school. It was a whole new world for me, and a whole new world that I didn't even understand. It was so funny because I always tell this story when I went to public school. That the first one that I went to, the school was so big. I used to be walking in the hallways lost because all the lockers were blue, and I couldn't tell what floor I was on. All these blue. I'm like, didn't I just pass this locker?
No, it can be overwhelming.
It was so overwhelming because everybody changed classrooms, and it was so many floors and so many teachers. And when you go to public school from Christian school, it wasn't period 1, 2, 3.
Right.
In our system, it was mod 1, mod 2, mod 12, 13, 13, 14. I'm like, what is that?
What is that? Okay.
What is that? I'm going to mod 2 and 3. Or 4 and 5, or anyway, I'm going on a tangent. You know me,
I feel you though.
But anyway, so making the transition from private school to public school, there was something in my mind that I felt that I had to switch in order to survive. And I remember I had graduated from the 8th grade, and we had went to visit Pine Forge, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, oh, this is a life that I have never seen before. Yeah. We're all the kids are singing together. Yes. They're eating together. Yeah. So that, that was my environment or my element. Right. So making that transition to public school was just overwhelming. And I remember saying to myself, oh man, I can't even go to Pine Forge. I can't afford to go away to Christian school. And all of my friends are. I just have to be local and go to this public school and get a boyfriend.
Do local things.
Do hood rat things.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that I had to do hood rat things. And I did, kinda.
Said, well,
I had to switch. In my mind, I transitioned my thought process to say, well, you better start doing some hood rat things.
Yes, if you want to fit in.
If you want to survive. Yeah. So I moved on. We had moved to a new street, and I was the girl that was in private school on the street, and then I had transitioned, and so my boyfriend at the time lived a couple of doors down from me. And
danger,
right? So, but anyway, so in my mind, you always thinking about you're thinking about, okay, if I have to date somebody or talk to somebody, I'm used to having the same boyfriend from first grade to eighth grade or second, you know. So that stick to itness was already there.
Yes.
But I'm also looking for somebody that, okay, they halfway good, not just out there in the street. So I would watch his mom go to work every day. She went to work. She came home. He had a curfew. He played football. I was like, okay, so that means he got to keep his grades up. So I might as well talk to him then.
Right. His mama got a job.
She got long hair.
Long check.
Me and my checklist.
I get it.
And so he was the first one that came. Now, I was the new girl in the neighborhood. He was the first person that had the balls to come and sit on my porch and be like, what's up? I was like, well, then. Hey. But it doesn't mean... it didn't mean that there was like an attraction. It's just that's what was happening in the hood where I was.
For sure.
Long story short, I ended up getting pregnant my last year of high school, around 92, 93, the early 90s. In my community or in my area, or even I would even say in the hood. I don't know if it was everybody, but it was common to be pregnant as a teenager. It wasn't like, oh my God, she's having a baby. She's pregnant.
Brenda's got a baby.
Right. Brenda's got a baby. So it was like a pandemic back then.
It was
not a pandemic. It was an epidemic. It was a pandemic
epidemic. It was a panini.
Yeah, it was all of that. And so, I mean, it was more of that mentality of, girl, I got a baby by such and such. Oh, girl, she pregnant by who? By this person or that person. I'm not saying that that's why I got pregnant.
No.
By any means.
But you were in good company.
I was in good company.
And guess what? I blame 90s R&B too.
Is that what it was?
It had to be.
It was R. Kelly.
It was R. Kelly.
I don't see nothing wrong.
But he paid.
He ain't seen nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong. All the bump and grind songs, Sexy, Push It. I mean,
it was definitely
it was sexy.
Sexy. It was sexy.
It was sexy.
And love. It's love and sex.
Knocking boots.
Yeah, somebody knocking our boots. Popping and it was humping the air. Jodeci
for 5-6 straight years.
But I would say it was definitely some good music.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
There's nothing like it.
It's still amazing because it's amazing. Yeah. But anyway, it was a lot of that going on. So at the time that I got pregnant, it was devastating for me. Devastating for me because I still had the mentality of I am a Christian.
Yeah. Church school.
I'm a Christian, and oh my goodness, I have given away my virginity. 2, I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby, and it was traumatic.
Yeah.
It was definitely traumatic in my church community as well. And so,
how did that go?
Yeah. So for those of you that come from a church environment, or we talk about being Adventist a lot. I'm not sure exactly what a lot of other denominations do, but
that's true.
It is like big no.
Yeah,
big no when you're you better not have have a baby. You better not wear jewelry. It's So it was really bad. And although I was disfellowshipped from church.
So let's tell them what that means.
Yeah. So when you have a kid out of wedlock in our denomination, at one point in time, I don't know if that's still the point today. I don't think so.
I think they censor now.
Oh, as opposed to
sit you down for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So you get sat down, which is better. It's
a little more grace in it.
It's a little grace and love with it, but you get disfellowshipped, and they read your name in front of the church, and you're disfellowshipped from church, meaning that you don't participate in activities.
They disown you. Your name, I think your name is literally off of the church roll as a member.
It is.
You have to be rebaptized.
You have to be rebaptized.
So it's not like they won't let you come back to church, but you're not, an official member. And like you said, if you're in leadership, forget about it.
If you're in leadership, you're no longer in leadership. And so at that time it was more of, people really looked down on you. There was no help. There's nobody that reaches out to you to say, hey, you're in this situation. Maybe you and the dad may need some help, some love. how can we support you? So there's no baby shower thrown at church.
Now, did that stick out for you? I mean, looking back, but during that time, were you really feeling like I need support and love from my church family and I'm not getting it? Or was it now that you look back on it, you're like, dang, they wasn't there?
Oh my goodness. At the time, I felt so isolated from society because even though I think that year, that was one of the years I was in public school and in the greater inner city of Cleveland, and I was very quiet in school, but I didn't know that my teachers really liked me.
Gotcha.
And they really thought highly of me.
Yeah. So they were probably disappointed.
They were so disappointed in me.
Yeah.
That they stopped talking to me.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
My teachers stopped talking to me in school. And they were very popular teachers at the time. They stopped talking to me. Yeah. My friends were like, hey, I heard you was pregnant. Is she, Melissa Strickland pregnant?
Yeah. Yeah.
In my neighborhood, on my street. Yeah. My mom was very supportive of me. Yeah. But, his mom was like, you some little girl down the street.
Right. I never knew what that relationship was like. She was hands off?
She was mean, man. She was a mean woman. I love her today. I love her.
Sweet, yeah.
I love her. She is my heart. She was mean. Okay. And I had to go. I was the one that went down to tell her the situation. Yeah. And she said, well, y'all don't be laughing. She said, well, I told you to stop coming down here when I ain't home. That's what she said. I was like, you right, ma'am. You right. I'm so
yes,
sorry, ma'am.
Wow.
But she did send gifts when the baby was born. Okay. We didn't know each other. I was it was very new and
how was it for your baby daddy just being a new dad and being young? I mean, you have your experience. I mean, obviously you can't talk for him, but what was that like?
Well, for him it was very difficult. He thought he had messed up his whole life. Okay. He thought I had messed up his whole life. He had dreams of becoming
people be blaming people.
He had dreams of becoming a football player. And when I think back in hindsight, he was young and I was young, and being parents is not what either one of us wanted. No. But, sometimes the men have the liberty to continue their lives and do what they want to do. So he continued on with his life. Yeah. He was pretty awful. Okay. Yeah, he was pretty awful.
I'm sorry. Men don't, really fully mature till they're 47.
Yeah.
So 18 years old.
Yeah.
And a baby.
As a guy, that's so difficult when you're trying to make it in the world yourself. And I'm not saying that I wasn't either, but both of us, for me, being sheltered in private school all my life, I hadn't even found myself. Now, mind you, I just said that I couldn't figure out what floor my homeroom class was. I
can't even find my locker. My locker. Now I'm pregnant.
And I'm pregnant by this boy in school and he was very popular, by the way.
Okay, so you got pregnant by the popular guy.
I got pregnant by the popular guy. He was the quarterback of the football team. Oh, Lord. Now, mind you, for me, that meant nothing. I ain't know nothing about you. You just live down the street.
Right.
So, there were a lot of girls involved, a lot of women, a lot of girls involved, girls that were my friends, girls. Yeah. Everybody was involved.
It was just drama.
Everybody was involved. Yeah. Even at my church, there were other girls that were involved as well. So it was just, he was doing what he was supposed to do at that age. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sitting here like taking up, but if you think about it, he was doing what
no, it's mature to look back and have an understanding of all sides and, an 18-year-old male's mind maybe versus a 18-year-old female and all of that.
Why in the world would he be sitting there thinking about, now I got to go to work, I got to buy diapers, and I'm about to go home to my woman and, I have a family. Yeah, I didn't want a family, but I was carrying.
Right. You just have to.
You just have to. You have to think that way. So, or not. There would be, he completely stopped talking to me.
Oh, now that's tough.
While I was pregnant.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And we went to the same school together.
Yeah.
And was in the same homeroom together. So it was the most humiliating.
Yes, I get that.
Uncomfortable, awkward position to be in. And mind you, I'm already
You're
not social.
You're at a disadvantage. You're not social. You're a Christian girl, new environment.
Quiet, new environment. It was just so crazy that it caused me to shrink a lot more into myself. The audience here might be a mature audience, and maybe some of you have gone through teenage pregnancy, and maybe your daughters or your children have, your sons or whatever. But I'm going to tell you, be there for them as much as you can. And they need you more than anything. Yeah. And they need you to support them, to defend them, to encourage them, and just to even hold their hand through a trying time like that. And I'll say my mom did. When you're a senior in high school and you're pregnant, I missed out on prom. And so my children's father, he got to go to prom twice. Yeah. And so we lived on the same street. Yeah. And I remember the day that he was going to prom with the one. Yeah. And I didn't know what to do with myself because everybody was going to be outside taking pictures. And my mom, sweet as pie. Yeah. She said, "Hey, D, I didn't tell her what was going on in my mind, but she took me to the mall. Yeah, good. And she bought me outfits. Oh, good. She got me ice cream and she got me food. Yeah. And we stayed gone for so long praise God. That by the time I got back and everything was over, I was so tired I went to sleep and I was okay.
Oh, that Holy Spirit had to have led her to do that.
She did not verbally say, I know this is what's going on. Right. But I know my daughter. I know what my daughter, I know what's about to happen. Yes. Let me take care of her.
And can I say this, because we are talking about parenting, sometimes that's what your kids need. Yes. Baby, come on, let's go to the mall.
You don't have to say anything. You got to know. Yeah. You got to put it into action.
And just do it.
So and she moved. She moved into action for me that day. That one particular day. Yeah. I had many hard days during that year. I mean, I walked to school every day. Oh. I walked to school we walked to school back then in the snow and pregnant. Yes. Walking to school 4 or 5 blocks was a long way.
Absolutely.
And he would warm his car up. Yeah. Ooh. Get in the car. Yeah. Mind you, I would start walking. His car would be warming. I would walk past it. Yeah. He would drive past me, go pick up everybody for school. Yeah. And by the time I got to school, he would drive past me again to get to school, and they would be in class before I got there.
Yeah, see, that kind of stuff, God is still working on my heart because it makes me sad and it's unfortunate. I'm glad that you passed it, but it makes me so mad.
It is. It's a sad thing that you have to definitely give it to God and grow from it, because I can still see him this day and be like, hey, what's up?
And see, I can't.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. But I can still see him today and be like, you know what? If you were dying, I would be there. Yeah. If something happened to
God's
you,
love.
If something happened to you, I would be there. Yeah. I would be there for you. We're not the best of friends, but we have respect for one another. So it took a long time to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, don't know him very, very well, but some guys are like, emotional guys, and some are like not. Yeah. They haven't tapped into how to deal with their emotions and that type of thing. And I would say he was one of them before you were ever pregnant.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's in it's everything you're saying. It's in his personality of like being emotionally.
Yeah, he's definitely wasn't emotionally intelligent.
Yeah, not. So I'm sure things have changed, or hopefully, he's different now. But just being younger and already just being that way, it's just like a double whammy, if they say that. So we took a little break, and when I tell you we don't know what the last thing is that she said,
because let me tell you what happened during break. Okay, so I have my glasses on today because I didn't get my face done or put it. I lost my makeup, the whole thing. I don't know where it is. My life has just been crazy this week. So I say, well, Crystal, you got a little makeup I can wear?
I said, let me get you a little stuff. I put it in the bathroom before I laid it out. I didn't have that much because I don't wear that much, but I laid out.
It was a couple, 2, 3 things. It was the basics. It was the basics. Right. So I'm real basic today. Right. But as you can see my lips, I don't know if you guys can see my lips, but it's kind of like a brown. It's like a brown cocoa look. And I was like, oh, this might be nice. So I put on a full lip.
A full one. Okay.
A full lip of concealers.
It's cute though. It's giving.
So I tried to put a little lip gloss on it to kind of mask it in. I didn't know that it was concealer. So if y'all think I look crazy,
right, it look cute.
it's a little concealer on my lips. It's concealed.
Right, it's a hack. It's a hack. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a beauty hack.
Thank
so if
you.
you out in these streets and all you got is some concealer, put a little bit on your lips,
And
put
you'll
a little
be
bit around
good.
your eyes, and you'll be good.
You'll be good. So
that's it.
that's what happened. I don't know.
So sorry,
and then
y'all.
Crystal said, what were we talking about?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
you was telling us about, so you talked us through, just difficult situations that took place in church, your relationship with your child's father, and all of that kind of stuff, just being a single parent. And so the baby is born. Tell me about that. What was that like?
I'm glad you asked that question because I don't know what happened between it. I think I was going on a tangent. So it was time for me. I was actually pregnant the whole year of school. I actually walked across the stage 9 months pregnant.
But you got your degree.
I got my high school
kudos to
diploma,
you.
but it was myself and maybe 7-8 other girls
That were
walking across.
pregnant?
Yeah, that were pregnant at the same time, walking
very
across
common.
the stage, and we
Very
all
common.
did.
Good
So
job. That's
praise God for that. But I did. I had my oldest son July 7th of 1993. It was a really, really scary ordeal because. You're supposed to be excited as a parent.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to feel. One, I wasn't in touch with my emotions because I had been through so much during the pregnancy that by the time he came, because they gave me a due date of June 4th.
Oh.
And he didn't come to July 7th. So I was delirious about that
somebody
time.
done lied. Why
Somebody
would they
done
tell you
lied.
June 4th?
I don't know. I think
that's-
it was just awful. It
That's
was
torture.
awful. So after June 4th, I think I
Every day
graduated.
after, it's crazy.
I graduated high school like June 6th, June 7th. Then we were out of school. Then it was June 18th, which just happens to be your birthday.
It's a special day.
I prayed to the Lord so hard.
Yeah.
I think that was the first time I ever prayed hard. I said, Lord, if you let me have this baby, I will stop sucking my finger. And I used to suck my finger from the time that I was little on up. And I did. I
thought you was about to say something else. I'm so glad.
No, I wasn't. No, from the time suck my finger.
Yes.
I was a finger sucker. And so I sucked my finger. I stopped
made
that
a
day.
deal. Wow.
I made a deal with the Lord. Like, if you let me have this baby soon, I will stop sucking my finger. And that's the first time that I ever stopped anything cold turkey. That's how desperate I was. It was cold turkey. I have not touched my finger since to this day. But he didn't end up coming to July 4th came. I was still pregnant. And then, July 7th. So when
Them
my
babies come when they want to.
they come when they want to.
Ooh.
And he was chilling so much that I had to get induced because he would have been in there for a long time. He was not coming out. Okay. He was just the sweetest.
Yeah, he was. God bless you with that. Okay, he said you've been through a lot. I'm gonna give you a sweet.
I'm gonna give
baby.
you a sweet baby. I'm gonna give you a sweet kid. He was the best thing that ever happened to me. He was just sweet and humble.
Yeah.
It was all over his spirit.
Yes.
Nothing like anything that I had gone through.
Yeah.
But here I am. I had to get a C-section. So after all that turmoil during my pregnancy and going through that, I had to go through a
physical pain.
The physical pain. So with that C-section, got cut on, had surgery, and so it takes you a couple of days to walk again, to come to, and I did not heal fast.
Yeah.
And I did not come too fast. It took me about 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Where normal with a C-section, you go home, it's a couple of days
Try to bounce
or a
back.
week.
Yeah.
It was.
Out of it.
I was out of it. I remember
Yeah.
one of my classmates came to visit me.
Yeah.
It took me 30 minutes to get up out of the chair.
Wow.
My mom had to push my hair down. I was just out of it.
Yeah, like come
and
on.
he came to see the baby, and I didn't have the baby with me. And everybody was like, "Where's your baby?
Right.
Why your baby not home?" So let me tell you guys, when I had Brian, when I started to feed him with the bottle, I didn't breastfeed. I noticed that he was not sucking the milk down. And every time that he would try to drink the milk, he would throw up bile, yellow, red, and green bile from his body. And I said, something's wrong with my baby.
Yep.
And something is not right.
Yeah.
And when you're a new parent, you don't know what's supposed to be right.
Right, but you said it's not right.
Also, I'll tell you this. When you're in the hospital and you are a young teenage mom, sometimes you're not treated right, especially if your insurance is not the right insurance.
Yeah.
So
it's discrimination. Like
it is, you guys. And I can't even begin to tell you.
That's a whole
nother topic, a whole nother conversation. But I was smart enough to know that something was not right with my child, and he was not pooping, and all the poop was coming up through his mouth. So that was really traumatic for me as a mom.
Girl.
So think about the trauma of being pregnant as a teen, the trauma of being what do you call it when people reject you? You're isolated from the community because of your condition. You know, absolutely. People, talking about you, shunned. Absolutely. And not having the support of the child's father. And the only person that you have is your mom. I mean, you were there, but you were a kid.
I was 13.
It was like,
in and out.
What are you going to do? Be like, girl, you want something to eat?
Exactly.
But it was just, it was a very difficult thing. So he ended up going to intensive care immediately in the hospital. So I went home without him. He stayed in the hospital for a month.
Oh my gosh.
And I would have to go visit him in the hospital. So Brian was born with Hirschsprung's disease, and we'll put it in the screen so you can see it and look up. But it's like 1 in a million kids will have this particular rare disease. And so basically what it is that if you think about your intestines kind of does this in your body. It goes around. Well, the bile would go down, but there was a certain part in the intestines in the nerve that the nerves didn't work to push it down.
Okay.
So it would come back up. So it was full.
Yeah.
So these nerves right here didn't work. Everything else down here worked.
Yeah, it was just a disconnect in the middle.
In the middle, right in the middle, like right in the middle of his stomach that the doctor diagnosed, and Brian had to have surgery and wear a colostomy bag.
I remember that.
As a newborn baby coming home. So by the time he came home as a mom, I did not only had a new baby, but I had a baby that had a colostomy bag that needed extra care and extra attention, and we had to clean it and change his bag. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I had to order bags from the health place, and it was really
That's a lot, girl.
It was a lot. It was a lot
Girl.
to see him in intensive care. I would go and visit him, and so I never got a chance to bond with him. Or to connect with him because he was a sick baby. Bringing him home, that's a whole new life as a mom without, the father was there as much as he could be or knew how to be. But I was a single mom going through that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was, now that I'm talking through it, it's been so many years. I think it's almost 30 years. But it was pretty traumatic.
Yeah, you need to write that out.
I might be mental.
You have a lot of stuff.
I got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about parenting, but it's like, it's deep. It's
Wait a minute.
Story,
so that was my first experience as a parent. Unwanted pregnancy, being unwanted. It not being exciting, the C-section and the surgery and the ordeal being really rough, and then my child having a medical condition that never happens, 1 in a million kids. I'm like, why me? And I'm 18.
Girl, please.
So, during the course of, being a parent at that time, if it was not for my mom, stepping in, you know, I don't know where I would be or where Brian would be today.
Let's go ahead and get her some flowers.
I just want to, give my mom, you know what, today, where she at? She's somewhere in the country.
She in the mountains.
Y'all don't know Sister Strickland.
Sorry. Trying to be, this is a serious podcast today.
Yes,
we serious.
I didn't even realize it was going to be so serious, but, you know, talking about my story. But my mom was there for me. Yeah. And when I tell y'all I did not know how to be a mom, I just really didn't. I really didn't. Incident, y'all, that I'm embarrassed about, but I'm gonna share. Okay. But it just goes to show you that where my mindset was. Yeah. One day I had one day I had my son in the car with me. Oh yeah. And I had to go pick up my mom from work. So it wasn't time for her to get off work yet. And I said, well, I'm downtown. While I'm down here, I'm going to stop and get me a slice of pizza. That's probably Number one is stopping to get the slice of pizza. Okay. Gosh. That's issue number one, that I thought that I was going to get out of my car downtown, run in and get some pizza real quick and come back. Okay. Any other time in my life, this was my first time like having him in the car with me.
Okay. So he was with you.
He was with me. Okay. And he was brand new. He had just been home from the hospital. He was about 2 months old because he had been in the hospital the whole time. Lord. And so I'm in the car. I'm going to pick up my mother, but, you know, so I got a little bit of time. I'm going to go downtown across from Cleveland State. There was a Rascal House Pizza and an Arby's across the street. So I parked on the side street across from Cleveland State, going up that street. Yeah.
What'd you do?
I got out of the car.
Lord.
And left Brian in the back seat sleep as a newborn baby. And went and ordered my pizza.
On purpose? I mean,
I didn't realize that when you get out the car, you have to take your baby out of the car too.
They gotta go too. So this is not one of the situations, because you know this happens a lot, where a parent will be forgetting that their child is in the back seat, and God forbid something bad
go to work
to them.
It wasn't.
So you knew you just wanted to run in Rascal House.
Listen, disclaimer to everybody. I am not proud of this. Like I said, I'm embarrassed. It's just how naive and stupid I was at the time. So I thought that it was okay for me to just go in and run and get a slice of pizza.
You locked the doors.
I locked the doors. He was asleep, sucking on the pacifier. I'm gonna go get this one slice, get in the car, go pick up my mom around the corner. Just like I've done every other time.
And I'm just going to say this real quick. Not that this excuses it or whatever, but like getting babies out, that whole thing, car seats and all that, it's a lot. So if you thought
I had never done it,
a real quick little 1-2.
I never done it. I just did not know. Girl. So I kid you not, everybody. I was not being a parent that was trying to be careless, or that was forgetful. Like it just didn't register maturely in my mind that this is that you need every time you get out the car, you have to take your baby out the car. So I go into Rascal House Pizza. I get in line. I get my pizza. I come out and my car is gone.
Oh my gosh. Repo? Oh my God, Melissa.
I fall out on the ground. The pieces all on the ground. I'm like, oh God, they done took my car. They done took my baby. Well, it was 5:00.
Okay.
And that is the time that if you are parked on the side of the street, rush hour downtown, which I did not know, you get your car towed.
Right. That's true.
So the tow truck comes, gets my car, latches it up, and starts to pull off.
But wait, so were you, because isn't Rascal House where it has like those 2 big windows where you should have been able to see that?
I was getting pizza.
I said I had pizza on my mind.
I'm so sorry, y'all. This story is horrible, and I walk out the car. I walk out, and my baby is gone, and my car is gone, and I fall out. I am on the sidewalk by myself, and no one's out there, and the police come. So what they did was what they did is they put the car on they hooked it up. Yeah. They didn't see Brian. Yeah. Now this whole time he's still asleep, sucking the pacifier. He was sweet. He's like, my mom is stupid. I'm gonna stay asleep. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not hungry. So they hook it up and they start to take the car to the place where you have cars, and he happened to look through the rearview mirror and see the baby in the car.
Oh my goodness!
And the baby and Brian, he's just sucking his little pacifier. Oh my goodness! And so they call the police, and the police is looking for this mom that abandoned her baby in a car. So they come back around and find me passed out on the sidewalk, bawling. Now we didn't have cell phones then. Right. Oh, there were no cell phones. I did have a pager, but I couldn't page nobody. I had a pager on my outfit. But no, seriously. And the police came to me and he said, is that your car? Mm-hmm. Is that your baby in the car? Mm-hmm. Yes, officer. I'm so sorry. I went in, I'm crying and crying and crying. And they ended up giving me my car back and giving me the baby back. But the officer was he was like a father. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like you're going to jail or you're an awful mom. Like, do you know how serious this is? Yeah. We could have told that baby he could have died. Yeah. I mean, I was probably traumatized. I was traumatized. Yeah. I was traumatic. I was in turmoil. Probably was because I love my baby. Yeah. I just immaturely didn't understand that whole concept. So long story short, now mind you, my baby has been in the hospital for Hirschsprung's disease for a long time. Right. And the week or he gets out.
Here come a tow truck.
He gets. That's why my baby's strong today. But I had to work with a social worker. Oh wow. For 6 months. Oh wow. To make sure that my baby was being taken care of, to make sure that he was in a safe environment, in a home environment. And that was traumatic for me.
So your name in the system?
My name was in the system. It's bad. It said bad mom, bad pizza mom. I have not gone back to. I went to Rascal House one time, but it was so traumatic for me.
No more pizza.
And no more pizza. That's what I get. But it was horrible. But I say that to say, everybody, that being a young mom, you see these moms that might do stupid things and you're angry at them. You see stuff on TV or you see moms that, make mistakes, have some grace.
Have a little grace.
I was a young girl. I was a kid. I was very inexperienced, very very naive, very, very gullible. I mean, thinking about my life, like in 10th grade when I was in school, I was still having recess.
Because recess is fun.
Because recess is good in the 10th grade. I was still, if you think 10, 11, that's 2 years ago. Yeah. I was just running outside to have recess.
First one on the playground.
When you're in Christian school,
they have recess.
You have recess, baby, and it's fun. Yes. If your kids are in 10th and 11th grade, they should be having recess right now.
Get them baby some recess.
It's a lot of fun. But that just goes to tell you how where my mindset was and how naive I was in the world at that time. And that was where I was. So I had to mature and grow up very fast. I was a mother from the time I was 18. I was in a relationship that was not healthy,
toxic,
and not knowing at that time that I had already had childhood trauma. That was my experience. And for some it could be different, but if I could talk to myself back then,
what would you tell your
I would tell myself, don't do that again. If I could be there for myself, I would have given guidance and instruction on how to depend on God. How to, because I didn't know. I've been in church.
But just
I knew God,
that relationship,
but I didn't know how to depend on Him. At that point in time, I didn't know what was going. I couldn't tell you what was going on in my head. I was just trying to survive. I had a job. I worked. My first job was at Arby's downtown, And I was working there when I had Brian and when he went through all of his surgeries and things like that. But after that, I got a full-time job and I had to find a sitter.
Child care, yeah.
Now, my baby had a colostomy bag.
Yeah.
And
a temporary disability.
A temporary disability. So finding childcare for him was very difficult.
Yeah.
And I just want to shout out. I know we try not to say names, but this sitter was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. Her name was Shirley Nettles.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell her that I love her and appreciate her for taking care of my son.
Yeah.
And
she loved him.
And she loved him.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, I'll take him. No, it's like, I love this baby.
I love this baby. Let me change his colostomy bag.
She was good to
She
him.
potty trained him. She changed his bag for me.
Yeah.
She kept him long hours and she loved my kid. I needed that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to find a daycare sitter or a daycare provider like that is rare because it's just sometimes it's about money.
It's the business of keeping kids.
Yeah.
And I think it helped that she was an in-home child care sitter. So you get that extra special touch. She had a smaller group of kids, but she really did love Brian.
Man, she was great. She was great at what she did. It was order in the house.
Yeah, it was clean.
The kids loved her. They would sit on the porch. Brian loved her. And so when I went to work, I had my first job at Ernst & Young, and that was like big. So I had to have childcare, like real childcare. Like I'm going to work every day. This ain't Arby's no more. I'd be like, girl, I ain't coming in. I ain't doing no fries today.
I've moved on.
Yes. So I had a real job, and she was just there the entire time, and she kept Brian up until he was 6. Long time. And Brian loves her and thinks about her like, I want to see, Auntie Shirley check today. Check on her, or he sees her. So I thank God for that. Yeah. But, that was my experience being a parent. Yeah. And I wish I would have had more support.
Hey guys, so Melissa and I decided to stop here, and we hope that you will come back next week to hear part 2 of our parenting story where I share my experiences. I just want to take a moment to thank Melissa so much for sharing her story, for being transparent. I know some of you may have thought, man, this is heavy, this is sad, this is traumatic, and it is. However, don't get it twisted. Melissa is an overcomer and she's extremely resilient. She has found love. She has had children after her first teen pregnancy. So we don't want you to think that she is walking around sad and depressed and dealing with this. We are using our platform to share our stories so that if you know a teen mom or a teen dad, that you as a listener can now look at them with more loving eyes, to be more gracious, to be more patient and accepting of them and their situation. So come back next week and hear my story. We hope that you are here for it. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.